At precisely 2:47 a.m. on a Sunday morning, a woman's desperate voice was heard on a local police scanner. She whispered, "Please, he's here. I think he's inside." Then, silence. Officers tried to trace the call. There was no record. No phone ping. No number registered. Just static and a voice now lost. The woman was never found. What followed was a spiraling mystery that tore apart a small town and exposed an invisible horror hiding in plain sight. When officers arrived at the location briefly mentioned in the call, they expected to find a scene of chaos. But there was nothing. No signs of forced entry. No blood. No broken windows. Just an open front door, swaying slowly in the wind, and a still warm cup of tea sitting untouched on a nightstand. As if whoever lived there had just stood up and vanished. The home belonged to a quiet woman in her early 30s. No enemies. No criminal record. No history of mental illness. Surveillance footage from the block showed her returning from work at 6:12 p.m. She never re-emerged. The next morning, her car remained parked at the curb, but her keys and wallet were discovered neatly placed on the kitchen counter. Every light in the house was on. Then came the part that froze investigators. Records from the woman's cell phone provider showed no outgoing calls after 7 p.m. Her phone hadn't made a single connection that night, yet multiple first responders confirmed hearing her on the scanner, repeating the same phrase, "He was already here." Locals began whispering theories. Some spoke of a stalker who'd allegedly watched victims for months before striking. Others blamed something electronic, a ghost frequency, a hijack signal, or worse, an intentional erasure. Because here's where it gets darker, a retired telecom operator who ran equipment diagnostics for local dispatch reported irregular interference around the same time of the 911 call. Like the signal had been bounced or pulled through a phantom relay. As weeks passed and the search intensified, another disturbing clue surfaced. A neighbor jogging one morning discovered a piece of fabric caught in a fence bordering the woods behind the woman's house. Lab tests later revealed faint traces of blood and, strangely, two different sets of DNA. One belonged to the missing woman, the other remained unidentified. Then came the most chilling detail. A trajectory analysis of the house's wireless router showed a sudden data spike lasting 42 seconds, around the exact time of the phantom call. The data signature matched technology used in voice emulators, something capable of copying a human voice and transmitting randomized phrases. The implications were terrifying. The call may not have come from her at all. It may have come from someone or something pretending to be her. But why? And how? Digital surveillance maps showed no break-ins, security breaches, or unusual activity on nearby networks. Cell towers logged the area as inactive. Yet her voice was heard. Then, nearly 4 months later, a local farmer renting land on the edge of the county discovered a buried phone beneath a tree trunk, smashed, yet still housing fragments of memory data. Its SIM card, when reconstructed, showed scattered pieces of audio. Among them, one file stood out. A woman's voice. Tired. Genuine. Afraid. If you're hearing this, I didn't run. I didn't disappear. Something found me inside the dark. The voice, matched with 99.8% certainty to the missing woman, ended with a click. No GPS data. No timestamp. The audio was never meant to be found. Someone or something wanted her to disappear entirely. The case was closed quietly under the file "Missing Person, Unsolved." But for those who work in law enforcement and digital forensics, the evidence raised new fears. Was her identity stolen digitally? Repurposed? Or was she lured into something only visible through the thin veil of our connected world? And what does it mean when the truth can't be found, even with all of our technology watching? Stories like these don't always end with answers. Some end in silence. Others? In whispers hidden inside the code. Follow the quiet signal. Some stories are buried on purpose.